based on a true story, a Dasher's nightmare of terrifying orders. This is The Next Day. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today's another day. Let's go make some money. We got our first order today. It is $6.75 at Burger King, home of the Whopper. On that order, I actually had to contact the customer. They were out of the Dr. Pepper frozen drinks. I'm just like, ugh. But eventually, we actually got there. They just wanted a refund, so we were able to get her done. But we are 4 miles to the customer. Let's go. Well, it's supposed to be to leave it at the door, but she pretty much just met me right there at the street. So that works too. So hopefully today we'll get a good little lunch rush. A catering order would really set me up nice, but that's definitely no guarantee. But if I can at least get some high paying orders, oh, come on, please. That would be absolutely glorious. So let's see what DoorDash sends me next. Next up, La Hechizara. I think I might be close. I think I'm gonna ask them, how do I pronounce it? They told me it says Hechizara. Well, don't I just feel, yeah, a little stupid. But I know now, and knowing is half the battle. And I learned that from G.I. Joe. So let's go ahead and take this little piece of poo $4 order to the customer. All right, we just had to drop that one off at a school. And all I had to do is just leave it right there in the little foyer in their little DoorDash space and picked up my little measly $4. But now we have an AR move at Arby's. The order was ready, so that was good. Because usually there, I'm waiting. Now we just got 4 miles, customer, let's go. All right, it should be, which one? I think it's this one right here. Oh, wow, you can just pull right on up. Let's do it. It says I gotta meet the customer too. Oh, lovely joy. And that $5 was all base pay. But I'm just gonna keep marching on. Now we have an order here at Chipotle. Now this order is $15.50 and it says 9.5 miles. But I don't really find that 9.5 miles too bad because 3 or 4 of those miles were dead miles because I had to come back to my zone. So this is more like $15.50, 6 miles and 12 minutes. So in my book, that's a lot better because if I was already here, I would have already saw this as $2 plus per mile. So I will definitely take that. Even though this is taking me on the very edge of Midlothian, it's still all good. And there's also a couple restaurants that I could be getting on the way back to my zone, whether it's there at that Rice House or Subway, Sonic, or the Golden Chick. But you never know, I might get another order from one of those restaurants and take me right back to where I was at. So I know I've had that scenario as well. But as long as it pays me well, that's really the only thing that matters. So let's go ahead and drop off. And here I'm at the customer, which is gonna be at a school. It says leave it at the door, but I highly doubt they want me to do that. Let's go ahead, go on in. That's $15.50 in the bag. That was a good way to keep it stacking. And as you may have seen in my last ride along, I was actually struggling to keep my acceptance rating up, and I was right there on the edge on 70%. And by the end of the day, I was getting 71. Right now, I have a 74% acceptance rating, and I completed 138 deliveries in the last 30 days, which actually was my Achilles heel in August. Well, I would probably say July and August, because those were the two main reasons why I could not keep platinum status, where I kept that gold status rating. Now I'm also getting pretty close to getting to my second platinum pass. I like to go ahead and get my third as well. But in order to do that, I gotta be platinum for what? The next 27 days? It shouldn't be that bad to get there, just as long as not very much stuff comes up where I actually get too busy with my day job throughout the week. But it's going to be really good to have these platinum passes in my back pocket just in case I need it. That's going to be my kind of like get out of jail for free card for whenever I do kind of slip down a little bit. Because there have been some days where it's actually been tough to actually keep my rating up because I can only take so much crap. And I felt like that was my first 3 orders too, especially 2 of them. But until then, let's just keep it a stacking. Now, as soon as I was actually passing Rice House, which is like 2.5 miles from my hot zone, they would give me an order. Oh my God. So I just did a quick UE to pick up this $6 4 miles-ish to keep my wheels moving. So let's go on in. Woo-hoo, the order was ready, and that was Wright's house, because usually I'm sitting for a little bit, at least 2 to 3, which also reminds me, there's been some people that's been saying that their worry-free unassigns have like completely gone away. So far, I haven't got to witness that yet because I hadn't had to wait that long at a place, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find out pretty soon. And I hope to the dear loving God that I still have it. Oh my, because that worry-free unassigned is golden. So put it down in the comment box. Do you still have the worry-free unassigned? Does anybody have it? Also share your mark if you don't mind. But here we go to the customer. Leave it at the door. Now we got this little bitty $5. What is that, 1 point something miles? McDonald's. It was ready right when I made it to the counter. That's what I'm talking about. Let's keep it moving. Leave it at the door. Now, before I even got back to the car, I got another order right here, $6, 2.9 miles. I really like when it's busy like this, where I don't have to be all waiting and waiting and waiting, because every now and then, especially when I'm not platinum, I do have those days where I'll be waiting for a while, even waiting when I'm multi-apping as well, because there's times where it'll just feel like a desert out there, and I'm just like, ha ha, what is the point? But here we go, going back to Rice House. All right, made it to some more lovely apartments, and it's gonna be second floor. I don't know if it's gonna be this side or the other side. Yeah, of course it'd be the other side. This will be it. Up those stairs, go, 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 green, go. It's kind of funny on there, it says, not to knock because they have a stupid dog that will bark at anything. I believe that. All right, we got that $6. Let's keep on getting more. Next up, $6, 4.4 miles, Dairy Queen, and celebrating 75 years in Texas. Things was taking a little bit. I was getting a little nervous because recently I've actually got that new on-time rating on Doordash. Then they went ahead and they sent me one of those "We've Got Your Back" where they had to adjust the time. So glad for that. Even though like most of these on-time ratings, I've heard horror stories of saying like that's what actually keeping people from platinum or any other tier. And most of them were due to actually counting the time that they actually got there. But this is new to my market and I will definitely be testing this thing out. But here we go, 3 more miles. All right, let's see here. Does anybody have a number on their house? There we go, right there. Now I just gotta give it to the customer. All right, let's get this one over with. Hello, how are you doing today? Good, good. Have a PIN number? Now, while I'm on my way back to my zone, I got this another order, $10, 7.9 miles. Now we have about 1.5 miles to 2 miles just getting to Chipotle. All right, that didn't take too long. And man, oh man, it's gonna be great when we get rid of all this construction and they get done. And it's both sides gonna be getting multiple lanes here. And hopefully they'll add some more restaurants as well. I think the best restaurant they probably have is Olive Garden, and that's on Uber Eats only. Next one down from that is like Chick-fil-A and Chipotle, which are usually my main 2 restaurants that I go to in this area. And usually those are like the restaurants that are the main hot spots in my zone. But of course, always, it seems like McDonald's is always a hot spot as well. But that's definitely nothing to write home about. But there's some days where McDonald's is one of those restaurants that actually keeps me going some days. But just because McDonald's is ever like a hot spot doesn't mean that's where I'm going to actually be sitting at. I'd rather be sitting at close to a restaurant where they notoriously leave higher tips if all possible. But as we have seen and noticed even on this ride along, I've been getting orders without even sitting, which is kind of normal for me when I'm platinum. I don't usually always just be sitting. And if it is, it's just for a moment. So I will take that. All right, we just got a few more miles to the customer. Let's G to the O. Okay, which house? That one right there, we have a winner. And it says to leave it at the door. And that's $10 in the bag. And so far so good. This shift hasn't been terrible, especially like the last ride along I just had, which was like, bad. It was like almost nightmarish. And that was with having platinum too. But what really hurt me last time was switching to earn by time. Oh my, ooh, ugh. I don't even want to think about that. However, it did help me keep up with my acceptance rating, but the mileages was just that bad. I gotta stop thinking about that, or that's gonna interrupt my spirit, which I know I'm not gonna be over that $20 an hour mark, because I really needed that little bit extra boost, like of a catering order or something today, which is clearly not gonna happen. But hey, that's okay. Not every day is gonna be like all $25, $30 an hour, and not even 20. But now I have an order, it's $5.25, 3-something miles. It's gonna take me a mile and a half just to get there. Good news is it's gonna set me right by a Wendy's, where when I'm in that area, sometimes I get an offer to bring me right back into or close to my zone where I'm already at. So I'm not gonna complain too much. I'm just gonna keep on knocking it out. So go ahead and meet me at Panda Express. All right, the order was ready. Now I'm trying to go through this little traffic jam up here. It's all because all this construction right through here. Then also trying to make it through this light is not all that easy, but I got a green light, so let's go, people. Let's move. All right, awesome. As Clint Eastwood used to say, "You feeling lucky, punk?" Felt a little lucky right there, because usually in that little bottleneck scenario, I'm waiting for a while. That's like a lot of my wait time has just been all this construction in my area. It might actually be better off me going somewhere else to dash, but oh well, all is good. All right, now let's go ahead, bob and weave, get to this customer. All right, they said building 3, and this is building 3. All right, let's see here. So that, wait a minute. Nope, that's gonna be up there. So I think it's on the back side. And they sent me a map of the place. That's something I usually don't get. Could be helpful if I was lost. Oh yeah, I see it from down here. We're at the right one. Time to go up some steps. Figures, forgot the drink. At least everything was close by. Yes, I ran. But we made it. Now we have another offer, $9. Going to What a Burger. It was just sitting on that rack waiting for me. That's just been part of the story to today. Orders have been ready. I ain't gonna even complain about that. That don't happen every day. But until then, let's go and keep chugging along. All right, it's actually a business. And I'm currently at Ferris, Texas. Oh, is it this right here? Oh, come on, where's a number at? I'm just gonna park. I think I parked right here. I think that's it. Let's check this out. All right, easy little $9 right there. They actually had a couple dogs in there. One was like a small little pit bull that was actually really friendly. Oh, look at my leg. Then they had a really mean Yorkie. And I think he had to be held. I think he would have been meaner than the pit bull. But anyways, I have, for today's grand total, $78.75, just a little bit over 4 hours. So it wasn't the greatest dash ever, but it certainly wasn't the worst. But hopefully things could be even better next time. As long as it's nothing like this video right here.